Well, hello everyone. I thought I'd do a different video today. This is something a little bit different from my usual antics out under the night sky and chasing storms and photography. But as any of my long-term followers on social media know, every Christmas I purchase a Lego Technic set. I've been building Lego sets since I was young, and I like to keep that tradition up now as I'm older. So the whole idea is just to something really cool to build over the Christmas period, and something that's challenging and fun, with the intention of spending time indoors, making it well spent, while at the same time improving my concentration. So the big thing every year, or most years, I like to get is one of the big Lego Technic sets, in particular one of the big 1/8 scale supercars made by Technic. I've had the Lamborghini Cyan before, which was a great build. It was really complicated and a fantastic model, but I ended up selling it. I have several other Technic sets and some smaller Technic sets, and I've always had my eye on these big ones. But in recent years, I never got around to getting some of the big 1/8 scale sets from Lego, particularly the Ferrari Daytona and the McLaren P1. And the reason is they're very expensive. These are big sets with a lot of pieces, and because they're licensed, they cost a lot of money. Lego Technic in particular, you could be talking anywhere from about £300 to £350 per model. But over the last couple of years, I was researching other brands, and I came across this particular car by accident on Amazon and YouTube. And a mate of mine happens to build Cada models, and this was a company I heard mentioned a few times but didn't know much about. But this Cada company actually makes these 1/8 scale supercars as well, in the same standard as Lego Technic, and interestingly, they're slightly cheaper. Now, this one, when it first came out, was fairly expensive, but I got it before Christmas on a discount at £212 or £216, something like that, from an online company, which is an absolute bargain. So I decided to chance my arm and have a go with this other company, Cada. So this is the Cada Master Series AMG 1, the Mercedes AMG 1 hybrid car. It's a crazy car in real life, by the way. I don't know too much about it, and I'll be honest, I didn't know until I got this set and started researching it. But it's basically an F1 race car engine, more or less, put into a road legal car. It costs about $5 million in real life, and there's a limited number of them ever made. So they're really cool cars. So in the background, you can see the box. Believe it or not, the box is absolutely beautiful. Video and pictures don't do it justice. The box is big. It was heavy. I was kind of shocked, actually, how heavy it was. And the car itself is all embossed, sort of sits out from the actual box. And you can't really see that here, but it feels beautiful to touch. It's a lovely box. And the set is rated at 14 plus, and the amount of pieces, not sure, it's over 3,000 anyway, maybe 3,300, 3,500, something like that, pieces. So I got it there over Christmas, and it took me 15 days to build at a leisurely pace. And by that I mean I'm spending anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a night to maybe half an hour the next night. It just varied. So I built it at a relaxed pace, no rush. And this is the result. So I wanted to do a review of this incredible set to show you, for any people who are into builds out there. So yeah, I'm going to get the bad stuff out of the way first. This set was, in my opinion, extremely challenging to build. This is the instruction manual. The instruction manual is great quality, very good quality, and top quality pages, absolutely nothing to complain about there. But the main problem for me anyway, and maybe it's just my eyes because I'm getting older, especially when I'm looking at things up close, is that the car itself and all the parts are more or less black and grey. Now this is a bonus because with Lego Technic sets there's a lot of blue pins, and fans of the sets often refer to them as blue pin vomit. So you have a lovely big red Ferrari or a Lamborghini car of this scale and this expense, and it's ruined on the outside by these blue and red pins showing through. It kind of takes away from their professional look. Cada have done away with that, so they do all their pins to match the actual colour of the car. so that way you don't get that ugly colour vomit. So it looks far more sleek, far more professional, and I think that's the way to go. So that's a major advantage to Cada. The problem is for me with the instruction manual that because most of the parts are black and grey, most of them, there's an exception here in this page, most of the parts are black and grey, it can be difficult to see everything, and I've made quite a lot of mistakes. Even on the first page on Christmas Day, I made a mistake within the first couple of goes, mainly because I'm not used to it. Everything is black and grey, so you can easily miss a part of the build. They are highlighted in red here and yellow, some of the areas what you're supposed to be doing, but to be honest, that doesn't really stand out very well at a casual glance and can easily be missed in a low light situation. But anyway, I do feel the instructions, although they are very good, they could have been done better. In other words, some sections could have done with a photograph or a diagram showing the other side of the part you're building to see if it matched up. And they also could have done with a information box or just some text on the manual just to help out with certain aspects of it. But you're pretty much left to figure those bits out for yourself, to be honest. I made a lot of mistakes in this, and I'll be honest with you, I don't make too many mistakes building these sets. Usually I make one or two and then I end up finding out about it and try to correct it. But in this particular set, I made the most I've ever made. Just lift it up here for a closer look. It is complicated to build, I have to say. A lot of other YouTubers who have built it too, the honest ones, have also said it's the most challenging one they've ever built beyond any Lego Technic set. I think most people would agree with that. And for me, it definitely was the most challenging build I've ever had of any set of this caliber. It was frustrating. I'll be completely honest, I would go as far as saying as perhaps 70 to 80% of the construction of this car was not enjoyable. It was challenging, but it wasn't difficult in a sense that it's difficult to build. The actual process is fine. It's just making sense of the instructions and figuring and problem solving yourself and figuring the rest of it out. So you need to have a good head on you. You need to be very observant because there's a lot of details to see and a lot to be missed. So you have to have a very clear head, look at every page thoroughly, and I would recommend getting good lights in your room so you actually see the instructions and these parts clearly. So very good lights are needed. I'd also recommend a ruler or tape measure for measuring some of the tubing in it as well. And the most difficult part of this car, well, first of all, there's two things we like to talk about. One is the actual construction. They're actually like square, rectangular pieces in the set. You have to click the two pieces together and click on these grey pins, and they are incredibly frustrating. They're sore on your fingers trying to push these pins in, and there's so many of them. I found it really tedious after a while and sore, and that was not fun. There was a lot of those in it to building up the chassis and the frame, but you just have to put up with it as you go. Some people use tweezers to help push those pins in, which is highly recommended. The most difficult part of all is cable management. There's a number of motors in this car. There's a battery box, and these cables all have to be connected up to the front lights, to the rear lights, to the box, and there's cables of all different length. You have to measure them out. I measured them all out, and somehow I made a mistake. So some of the cables, I have a cable that's not connected to the box because the cable was too short, because I misread the instructions and put in the short ones to the long cable and it was too late to go back. So that was frustrating. So that's why the car doesn't really go forward and back properly. And I've one other one that's not clicked in right, which is why the spoiler doesn't go up and down. So it's entirely my fault. I can't blame anyone for that. But these things happen. But at the end of the day, that bit is difficult, and it's recommended you get cable ties and tidy these cables up as you go along in the build. And unfortunately, it doesn't say that in the box. It doesn't explain that. You have to just do that yourself. And in the instructions, the cables are just magically, they're magically just neat and tidy looking. You have to figure all that out. So that's extremely difficult. Some people are very good at that, others are not. It wasn't really my thing. I kind of just folded it all up and pushed it into whatever crevice I could find inside it. But it worked. It's not the most tidiest in the world, but it done the job. And at the end of the day, you still can't see the cables in the finished car. So that was extremely frustrating. And I'd also like to be honest and say some parts here, I found it extremely fidgety. Some of the pieces really difficult to put together. And there's two sections in the build where I honestly have to say, if you're a person who has thick fingers or thick thumbs, you're probably not going to get this car built, to be honest with you. I've quite slender fingers, and I struggled big time in getting some of these pieces in. They're so fidgety, getting away into the back of the car, the back of the unit. It was a nightmare. I nearly lost the plot several times, to be honest with you. I mean, it was frustrating, to say the least. So if you have big hands and big fingers, you're going to have to get help from someone else for certain aspects of this build. But once you get by the frustration, once you get used to the instructions and Cada's way of doing things, it took me about halfway through the whole manual before I started getting into the mindset. Then I began to anticipate what the instructions were going to do next and what kind of problems might be presented. So I began to see them in advance, and I got into the mindset, and then my build improved. And I have to say, once the whole structure and the cables were done, it became a lot more fun. The last, say, 20% of the build was more fun because it's all putting these panels together, and they're very clever. I have to say, it's some of the engineering techniques put into putting these vents in to get the overall shape of this car are really, really smart, very impressive, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But at the end of the day, it's not, the build wasn't my favourite in the world. I certainly didn't come close to the Lego T-Rex, which was my favourite build of any set ever. Really, that was really enjoyable and fun. But the whole idea of this is to have this amazing display model at the end, and essentially that's what this is. It's going to be on display. This car, you go through blood, sweat and tears, this massive adventure of emotional roller coaster ride, many nights building this and sussing things out, and then you get it finished and it's just awesome. This car truly is amazing looking in the flesh. Take a look at this here. Like the tires, licensed tires, awesome. The whole set is licensed by Mercedes. The colour is the real colour of the original AMG one. Just unbelievable. Really good detail in the lights here. And if you've done it properly, the doors will swing open and close themselves together in unison. You have great steering wheel. And look at the details in the back here. And the large shark fin. It's just an awesome set. I'm really impressed by the rear of it. Just look at the detail in that. And the exhaust pipe. So I'm just going to set this down here like so. So that's the Cada AMG 1. Would I recommend this set to anyone? And the answer is, if you're an experienced Technic builder and you're a petrol head who loves cars, then absolutely go for it. If you're someone who has a lot of patience, a lot of experience building sets of this caliber, and you're pretty creative and good at improvising, I would say the set is perfect for you. It is challenging, but it is absolutely worth getting to the end of this thing just to have, because it's absolutely astonishing. The video doesn't really do it justice. It's a big car. This is a big set, and it really is just fantastic. So let's take a look at the interior. So I have the doors open here, or rather one of the doors, and you can see the nice steering wheel with two of the electronic smart dash displays. If I can just focus this camera. Those are printed pieces, not stickers, which is really nice. And that does resemble the actual steering wheel. And at the center of the steering wheel is an airbag wrote on it. And we have that characteristic red button or light here, which you see in the real AMG one as well. And these yellow bands are meant to represent sports seat belts. But the attention to detail here is pretty nice for a Technic set. Usually they don't make too much of an effort in these models on the inside. But the steering wheel is very accurate, and these two panels or these LCD screens are very accurate also. Pretty decent looking, and the whole interior is black like the real one. And one of the big attractions of this set are actually the wheels. Now, as we know, the entire set is licensed by Mercedes, but the actual tires and rims are licensed by Michelin. So these are actually the proper rims on the actual AMG, and they have their Mercedes logo cap here in the middle, but the tires themselves are rubber, and the tread, I can't really see it here, but the tread on the tires is supposed to be similar or the same as the real tread on the AMG tire too. So that's really, really cool. So that's what makes this set really stand out among other things, is having these licensed tires well ahead of its time and properly done, even ahead of Lego Technic. So that's really, really cool. It's a really nice car. I messed up the electronics as I mentioned before, but I'll show you a couple of things. This is the controller, comes with it. The RC parts are quite limited, to be honest. The car actually drives forwards and backs, the steering turns, and the doors, the butterfly doors open up together in unison, and as the doors go up the spoiler goes down and vice versa. But I made a mistake in the build with the cables, so not all of these work, but I'll show you what does work anyway. So turn this on, green light flashing, and here we have lights. Those are pretty cool. And at the back, we should have, there's the lights coming on as the car moves. So again, I'm just setting this down at the rear of the car. And then the front of the car has these lights here, which is quite nice. Really a gimmick, you know, but it's kind of cool all the same to have. And here's that door, goes up on its own. So both were supposed to go up, but that's a mistake I made. But anyway. Okay, so that's the end of that review. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're into this kind of stuff, I do recommend getting this car. It certainly is incredible when it's finished. There's a tremendous feeling of satisfaction when you get it completed, and it's going to be a place of honour on my shelf. And I honestly have to say, it's definitely better than any of the Lego Technic supercars that I've seen. Now, I haven't got them all, but based on the Lamborghini and a few other builds, and from what I've researched online, a lot of people say this is definitely one of the best 1/8 scale supercars out there. So it's slightly cheaper than Lego Technic. It looks better. Okay, it's got remote control components in it. Not everyone's going to like that, but it's just something different that Cada we're doing, and it's good fun to experiment with something different. The tire set is licensed. The tires are licensed by Michelin. You can't beat that. The tires look awesome. The doors go up and down. The spoiler goes up and down. It has working lights. It moves forwards and backwards, and it just looks so mean. So anyway, if you're into this sort of thing, I hope you enjoyed this quick review, and I look forward to getting the next one. Cada have a new one out there just released before Christmas called, it's actually the successor of this car. It's the Mercedes AMG GT3, and it looks awesome. Now that one is over 5,000 pieces, so it's a big build, and it doesn't have RC components, which is a major plus, and it does have a working gearbox along with a pneumatic system for raising the car up and down off the ground. So it looks really amazing. So that'll probably be the next big one next year, at the end of this year. But anyway, thanks for watching, and whatever it is you're building, enjoy.